Hey, and welcome. I'm Tom Sinclair, and I'm bringing you today another in a long line of underwhelming videos. Well, we'll see at the end of the show if it's underwhelming or not. But this is Streaming Idiots, and we're so glad to have you tune in with us. For the folks that are here live this afternoon, thanks for coming, for being in the chat room, and y'all behave. And for those of you watching on YouTube, we thanks for taking time out to pop in and see what we're all about. We hope if this is something that appeals to you, go ahead and subscribe. And that way you'll get a notice whenever we post a new video. We do one show a week on Wednesday afternoons, at least as of December 2015. That's our schedule. And we'd love to have you get a notice when we do something. What else can we say? Oh, Jerry's here. Welcome, Jerry. And Jean is here. They got here. They rolled in late. They rolled in late so they could be welcomed officially. Part of the idea of this show is to prove the point that one guy with one PC can do a pretty darn good broadcast. You don't need a room full of PCs. You don't need fancy camera equipment. You don't need fancy microphones and mixers. I mean, all that stuff is fun, and you may grow up into that. But to start out, you don't need all that stuff. You can start with the PC that you already have. You can start with a handy cam that's up in the closet, and maybe a $32 Easy Cap from easycap.tv, and get you on your way. You just never know. Or if you've got a webcam, you can start with that. I used a Logitech C920 for years. Today's setup, real quickly, today's setup is pretty same as what we've been doing. We've got our streaming PC. In it is a Blackmagic Intensity Pro card connected to our good old faithful Canon Vixia HFR 100, which is coming in, I think, 1080. Pretty good picture with that today. The mixer we're using is a Behringer X1204 USB. The mic is an Audio-Technica. I think it's either an AT or an ATR 897, but you can Google it and find it out. It's a shotgun mic. That way I don't have a lapel mic. I don't have a big mic in front of me. Just trying to be, I'm just trying to be one of the guys. We're all just sitting around chatting, although I seem to be the one that never shuts up. So that's the basic setup today. Oh, and we're using vMix, and vMix is streaming to Decast, streaming two different streams, a 720 feed, for those of you that have got the bandwidth, and a 180 stream for those of you that are operating on data or have a slower connection. So if you're watching live, and then we're recording it at 1080, so the YouTube version will be 1080 plus all the other variations that they make: 720, 480, 360, 144, 12 maybe. My upload speed today is about 25 megs, and we're streaming 720 at 2.5 megs, plus some for overhead for audio, and then we're streaming 180K for the lower feed, so we're not using near all our bandwidth, which is nice because when we have Skype guests on, we've still got a lot of bandwidth left over for that. So that's the basic setup. Today's show is going to be kind of interesting, geeky if you're into cameras, and I'm chuckling at the chat room. Somebody's trying to get a rise out of everybody else, and everybody else is paying attention to me like they're supposed to. Sorry, Jerry, couldn't resist. I've had a PTZ cam here in the studio for about 6 months. It's from PTZ Optics, and we got the cam and we liked it so much that we decided to become resellers for the cam so that folks could get them from us. And one of the pledges that I like to make when we sell products is that we're going to know the products intimately. So if you've got issues, we're going to help you with those issues. We're going to help you get fixed, or we're going to find the answers for you. And the particular cam that I've got that I'm using today is a 12X PTZ cam. High definition 1080, 720, 480, 576. There may be some other resolutions that it'll do too, but those are the ones that that are in the documentation. It also has a variety of connections. This particular cam will do SDI. There are other cams that will do USB 3. That's right, 1080p over USB 3. I picked this one because it did SDI, and I use SDI now and again. But it's SDI, HDMI, composite. I always get composite and component confused on my tongue, but it's composite. That is, 480. And it does IP streaming. And the IP part of it I had never explored until this morning. Let me rephrase that. I tried it a couple of times and it didn't work the way I thought it should. I.e., it didn't work. And so I set it aside until I had time. And today I said, I need to dive in and figure out what's going on. What I wanted to see was its ability to stream video over my network acceptable for a studio broadcast, i.e. latency, audio, video delay, or video delay actually. And in order to answer that question, I had to jump through some hoops to get the camera going. So so what I'm going to do this for the next few minutes is basically give you the tutorial on how to get the PTZ Optics 12X SDI cam connected to your PC and recognized by vMix, because I think I had an unusual amount of trouble on that. When I talked to the PTZ tech support, yes, I do call tech support, and they were very helpful, and they kind of scratched their heads a little bit and had to look back in their script into the dusty pages at the back of the book and said, okay, this is what you've got. So apparently I didn't have common problems, but they were my problems, and I'm glad they were fixed. So with that introduction, what I want to start with is for PTZ Optics, they have got, and let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah, there we go. They have got a support page on what's called their knowledge base. And so their knowledge base has all sorts of articles and links that are helpful. Where they directed me first was under the manual setting here to something called IP address setting tool. And when I click that, it allows me to download the IP address setting tool. Well, okay, that's pretty good. And the IP address setting tool is something called Upgrade version 1.9. Well, Upgrade version 1.9 is a little application, and let's see if I can pull it up here. Got it somewhere. Yep, there it is. That allows me to find, number one, through the search function, to find what IP cameras are attached to my system and to upgrade them, configure them, or back them up. So first I'm going to do a search, and we'll pull up, this is the camera that I already know because I did all this morning. And then at this point, I would right click and click config, which essentially takes me to the configuration tab. And here I'd have to put in, what happened for me was, when I did the search this morning, I was getting a generic IP address that the camera just says, okay, this is the IP address I'm going to say I am until you say otherwise. So we had to go into config and basically say, because here was the problem. Actually, the IP cam came up and said that I was on this address with this gateway. And I wasn't, but I didn't know how to find out what I was looking for. And so what I needed, and I didn't know I needed it until I talked to the tech support guys, was I needed to go into, I call it DOS, but I guess they call it the command prompt now, and find out what my IP address format was for my network here in the studio. And if you notice, let's see, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fifth line down. IPv4 address, and then it's to the right after all the dots, 192.168.1.117. Well, I'm not worried about the 192 or the 168 because they're fairly ubiquitous. And the 117 represents a device, but the 1 surrounded by the periods indicates my network. So, and you can see the default gateway down below has the same kind of thing. So that allowed me to know that I had to come in and modify this address, which was the default setting for the camera, to meet my network. And I'm not going to reset it because I don't want to mess it up. But that was the first part. And so I would click set, and then, and do you really want to exit? Yes, I really want to exit. And then what happened, which was really pretty interesting, was, let's see if we can just go straight to that page. Yeah, there we go. I could type this new address that I had just set in my browser. And so I typed it in Chrome, 192.168.1.88, and Chrome said, no, we don't do that. We don't like that. And Chrome said, in fact, not only do we not like it, well, let me show you what Chrome said. So let's just go to Chrome here. And we'll go 192.168.1.88, and it says, nope, that you've got a plug-in here that we don't like. We want you to download this player. And I downloaded the player, and it still didn't help. And finally, when I talked to tech support, they said, oh, well, you know, Chrome doesn't work for that. So I said, okay, well, I'll try Windows Edge, Microsoft Edge, you know, the new Internet Explorer. Nah, it didn't work either. So I'm calling tech support saying, okay, I've tried 2 browsers. I am not a dummy. This is not working. He said, okay, well, you know, sometimes we have problems with this too. So he said, try Opera. So I downloaded and installed Opera, and Opera popped right up. In fact, let's see if we can go straight to it at this point. I'll show you what it shows me. I'm already logged in, so it would take me to the live page right off the bat. And I found out that my username and password are admin. Admin for the username, admin for the password. That's sort of standard. That worked out pretty well. Well, now I have the ability to see the camera, and I can, from this menu, I can actually do point tilt zoom. I can set presets. There are lots of other kind of camera kinds of things I can do, but really what I wanted to know at this point was how to get all of this into the vMix. And as you can see, it's a little choppy and a little delay here. But you're actually looking at a desktop capture right now, so not worried too much. So I went to, per the instructions from the helpful tech support guy, I went to the network tab, and this is the tab we had just a second ago, and it readily identified the correct fixed IP address for the camera, and it readily identified the correct gateway. And down here I said RTMP settings. Hey, that sounds like something I need. So I turned it on right there. And I said, you know, I better take the video. So I turned the video on. And I said, look at this. Here is a URL. So I'll just copy this URL and I'll put it into vMix in the RTMP portion of the inputs. Well, long story short at this point, that address didn't work. This address didn't work. And as you can see, they're in the wrong format. That's somebody else's network right there. Even when I shortened it to 1 dot, it didn't work. Even when I put in, it's got 138, but I'm really on 88. So I put in 88. That didn't work. So I said, well, I must have the wrong kind of input. I must be using it in the wrong place. before I leave this page, I'll tell you, I didn't put in the on VIF setting. I didn't turn that on, and I should have. It wouldn't have made any difference with this address, but it would have been important later. So if you're going to do it right, you're going to turn that on. Don't worry about this. You're going to turn that on. And then once you've turned those on, you're going to come back to System, and you're going to reboot. I'm not going to do it right now because I don't want to save anything that I just messed with that may not be right. But by rebooting, that resets the camera to all the changes that you've just made. And we'll get out of this. We'll get out of that. And we'll come back to, let's come back to, do we need to come back to that? No. Let's just add a quick desktop capture of the desktop. And I'll show you where I went next. vMix, 30 frames. Come on, guys. Here we go. 30 frames. Show cursor. There we go. Okay. So this is where we ended up, is with add input. Oops, let me make one more change to that before we do that. It'll make it easier for you to see. I'm going to sharpen it. Anytime we have text, it helps if you say sharpen. So we're going to add an input, and I said, okay, it's an RTMP. So I put in all of these different options, and none of it worked. It did not like the RTMP at all. Well, that's because it wasn't an RTMP. So I said, okay, add input. It must be a desktop capture, because I can put in a manual address right down here. And so I'll put in 192.168.188 and click OK, and I get an error message. No connection could be made because the target machine actively refused it. Not only did it not take the message, it actively refused it. I've never been actively refused in anything. So anyway, that wasn't going to work. So I said, okay, what about this, where is it, right here, stream. So we put in the stream, and I said, well, I'm going to put in the stream that was in the Opera browser. You remember all that? That was RTSP:// 192.168.138/live/stream 0. No good. Didn't work. Didn't work. And slides tried /stream 1. Tried 192.168.138. 192.168.1.88/live/stream. Anyway, long story short, none of that worked. None of the ones that looked like they should have worked. So I gave up. I was going to call tech support a third time, and my pride got in the way. And I said, I can't do this one more time. So I went online to the PTZ Optics YouTube page and found out how they said, because they didn't have a vMix setup video, but they had one for Wirecast. And so we found the code in Wirecast, RT//192.168.1.88/1. And that gave us this. I've already got one going right here, so I'll close it out. No sense in having two of them. But that gave me this. And this was what I wanted all along. And so now, either through the browser or through the handy-dandy remote, I can do everything I need to do with this camera. And now, after all that, I can tell you that IP broadcasting with this camera is not going to be acceptable in, in a studio environment because of the delay. And I tried 50 different ways to adjust the delay and to use a low latency mode. And maybe it's my network is not fast enough. I need to check that. I'll check that next. But what I found out was there was too much delay there. Now I can delay the audio in my broadcast, so if this were the only camera I was working with, I could delay the audio to meet up with this one. But since I use a variety of cameras, I'm not going to be able. Doesn't this drive you crazy? It drives me crazy. Let's go back to a shot that's not quite so crazy. Or actually, this is the shot that you could see, because this now, and again, we can fix, if I've got 3 of these, we can fix this. If I have to stream by IP, that little Ethernet cable, if I've got to connect up like that, then we can fix this and this will work, as long as all the cameras are the same. But now when I started introducing a camera, a Canon here and a Panasonic there and a PTZ there, now I've got troubles. Now you look at the folks at the network, and a lot of times, most of the time, from what I understand, the cameras are the same. Everything is the same. The resolution is the same, bit rate's the same, frame rate's the same. Everything is the same, so that there are no glitches in the system. And here, us crazy live streamers use a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And we want to use a webcam for this and grandma's handy cam for that, and then another camera. We're going to use our digital SLR over here because it's really good, and we're mixing up bit rates and frame rates and resolutions and probably connections, and suddenly we have all sorts of sync issues and we don't know why. Suffice to say, this particular cam wouldn't work in my application. But that's okay, because I got the good old Canon HF-R100, 2 of those, and a 200. So I've got 3 of them. They're all the same, essentially, and they work well. And so I have them. I don't have any audio delay on this right now. This is how it comes straight out of vMix. But I was able to answer my question, which was, will this work in vMix? And the answer to my question is yes, it will work in vMix. And I can make it work if this is the only camera I have, or if I have multiple cameras that are all the same way. Again, this PTZ Optics cam can be connected various different ways. So if I've got it connected IP for one, and SDI for another, and HDMI for the third camera, it's as if I was working with 3 separate cameras. Now, Richard's mentioned in the chat room that it would work great for a sports broadcast from a remote feed. And I agree with that, it would. And I think there's some situations where it would work just fine the way it is without any kind of delay needed for audio or anything like that. As long as we're not trying to sync to a lip. And it's only about, what was it? Let's see if we can figure out what the delay is here. Let's bring that over again. So maybe it's a half a second delay. So 500 milliseconds. Is that going to make that much difference in a basketball game, a football game, a hockey match? Probably not, unless there's some sort of ambient sound that you're picking up. If it's mixed martial arts, and somebody's slamming somebody down to the mat, and you're picking up the audio of what's going on with the mat, then this is not going to work. But if this is, if this is basketball, well, basketball, you've got a whistle, you've got a backboard that's making noise. Maybe football, maybe soccer, but again, you're going to have to be careful with how is that going to, how is it going to interface if you've got some delay in it. What I love about this camera is that it is remotely controlled and has presets. So you could use this it would be great to use in a basketball setting, in a gymnasium, where you could have it set for 5 or 6 different shots, and then have a full court shot that's sort of your second camera. And so you're using the full court shot a lot, but whenever you want a close up of something going on at the rim, or something going on at the foul line, or the coach on the other bench, you've got those presets already made. So one person, one guy with one PC could probably pull off an incredible broadcast. Now, RJ Murdoch, our good friend at Emerald Coast TV over in Destin, Florida, Fort Walton Beach, Florida, just pulled off a basketball tournament, I guess about a week and a half ago. It was an NCAA Division I men's tournament. The CBS Sports picked up the finals and booted him out, but he broadcast all the preliminaries. And I think, again, this is the second year he's done it, again, used just himself and multiple cameras. I don't think he had a PTZ, so he and I need to have lunch together, and I need to tell him. Think what you could do if all you had to do was mash the number 1 button on the remote for this shot and this button for that shot. Anyway, it's cool stuff. It's fun stuff. What did I need to tell you too about this PTZ cam? I think I gave you everything that I know, which, you know, I'm in the shallow end of the pool on a lot of this stuff. But that's how you hook up the PTZ Optics cams to vMix if you're using the IP portion of the camera. A little tricky. If you have questions about it, holler to me. We actually have this camera, or the entire PTZ line, the 12X and 20X SDI or USB, so that's 4 cameras right there. They are all on sale through December 15th in our store, $200 off. So there's a coupon there on the front page, easternshorebroadcasting.com, so you can go there and find out. Let's see, do we have an image of that? Yeah, we do have an image of that. So there it is right there. You can see in the top right corner that there is, well, you can't really see because I've got it, but it's PTZ 200, that's it, and that'll be $200 off, ends December 15th. So if you want to give yourself a really cool Christmas present, that would be that would be neat. Boy, you know, if somebody gave me something like that for Christmas, I would say they really liked me a lot. Not because it's expensive, which it is, not for a PTZ. I mean, frankly, the PTZ cam are value priced, and you know how I like value pricing. They are value priced, but it also would say that they knew a lot about me if that I might want a PTZ camera for Christmas. Hint, hint. Anyway, so give yourself a PTZ cam for Christmas. Golly, we're about out of time. Where does the time go on this show? It just amazed me. I commend to you last week's broadcast. Last week's broadcast was a ton of fun. If you missed it, it was hobo broadcasting. No hobos were harmed in that event. Now, a hobo is, I guess it's the old 1950s politically correct terminology to describe somebody that was homeless, but it was kind of a romanticized homelessness of the bums with the cane and their satchel over their shoulder, and they would ride the freight trains here and there. So and they were renowned for for unique ways to cook or to travel, or they would make. And in fact, my grandmother told me that the hobos would make a note on the curb of the house to indicate if this was a good house to go to get a free meal or not. And so when you went into a town, if you were a hobo, you looked for these marks on the curb to see where the generous people lived. Great story. So anyway, we did hobo broadcasting last week and had a little bit of this and a little bit of that. We're able to get 4 standard definition cameras into a dual-core, a 9-year-old dual-core laptop through the express card slot using a under $100 device that we got off of eBay. So I commend that to you too. It was a bunch of fun. Coming up, what is coming up? Golly gee, it just seems like So many things are happening. Coming up, I think it's going to be after the first of the year, but we're going to have Al Bunt back on the show. Remember, he's the VidBlaster macros guru. Kate Koch-Gatch from Magewell is going to be on the show and talk about what's going on with Magewell. Tracy Goodwin, the red sweater lady, remember, she's the one that talks about articulation and pronunciation and can help you present better. Stephen Haywood from the Tech Buzz, you remember he does the Broadcast Now shows on Tuesday nights. He'll be with us. Jim Jacobs from Jacob Media Services, Paul Richards from PTZ Optics, and Justin Stellman from Extreme Health Radio are some of the guests that we've got lined up for next year. In fact, we are going to be on the PTZ Optics show on Friday. So that'll be Friday at 2 o'clock, ptzoptics.com/live. And we'll be talking about vMix and PTZ Optics and Magewell and sports and broadcasting in studios with talk shows and churches. And it's going to be just a lot of fun, kind of a smorgasbord approach. But we represent PTZ Optics here in the Southeast, and they invited us to come on the show. So, of course, we'll do it. As Tracy says, take a breath. Okay, so I'll take a breath. So anyway, folks, that is it for today's show. I'm so thrilled that you could take time to be here. And if you're watching us on YouTube and you've watched this to this point, then you may as well subscribe. But it's been great. I'm Tom Sinclair. I am the Streaming Idiot, and I will see you next time on Streaming Idiots. Bye.